Salutations, mortals and children of the night. I'm the Vampire Otaku, and this is still Romance Month. This is still February, and I just read another romance, so let's talk about it. So I just read another romance called High Score Girl. This is the perfect romance for any old school gamer out there, someone who enjoys platforms, 2D fighters, arcade games, the first Game Boy, all the good old school stuff. So, got Mortal Kombat in here right now. It was really informative of video game history, like learning about how the video game industry was in the early 90s, how people felt about it, but the romance element was still there. The main character was an oblivious type of character who was so absorbed in his video games and having fun and being a kid that he didn't, realize his feelings for, our heroine in this story. And it was really fun to see that dynamic. And his character development was him admitting to himself and his friends his feelings. It was like, I have a rivalry with this girl. I want to beat her in video games. And she's really good at fighting games, and she just beats him over and over and over. And eventually, he realizes this rivalry is more of a love. Like, I love this person because they make gaming even more fun. Didn't even think that was possible, but it is. And just being with them is uplifting and just a pleasant experience. And I have more fun playing the video games that I enjoyed alone than in any other way. So it was very sweet. The ending was wrapped up very well. It's only 10 volumes. I'll show you the cover of all of them. The art style is similar to Scott Pilgrim in a way. It's kind of cute, chibi, but still detailed. There's an anime for this. Don't watch it. It's awful. It looks terrible. I'm not going to say that CGI is bad every time and in every application, but in the case of High Score Girl and The Duke of Death, those CGIs are absolutely awful. CGI can be done properly, but not in those instances. And this story is superior as a manga. Some animes are better to watch than read, but a lot of times the manga is going to be better, and that's going to be the case with this one. Let's check out these covers. Starting with volume 1, what I really like about these covers and just these mangas in general, they're very colorful. Square Enix did a really good job with the colors and just making the spines and the manga itself vibrant. You can see right here that they just really enjoy playing different games together. And this is done by Square Enix. I think Square Enix always does a good job with their titles. They're usually a little pricey, but very good quality. This is the last volume. Kind of bland, but I think the cover really sums up the story. How it's going to be a little on the sad side, a little on the almost, I wouldn't say melodramatic, but more so somber. It was very somber, but it got super emotional too. Let's talk about this story. Main character, he's addicted to video games. He plays all kinds of games, Nintendo, Sega Saturn. He likes Tekken. He likes Street Fighter. He loves arcade cabinets. He basically lives there. And you grow up with him. Basically, he starts off in middle school. He meets this girl at arcade cabinet. She destroys him, and I think it was Street Fighter. I think it was Street Fighter. His main is Giles, which is really interesting. He just wants to beat her. He wants to get better, so he keeps playing and playing. And you just go through his life of middle school and in high school. He gets his first job. He learns how to ride a moped. You just really grow up with this kid. And later on in the story, I want to say volume 8 or 9, he realizes that he has feelings for this girl. It's a very slow burn, but their adventures together really spell it out. His love interest never speaks, which is really interesting. Like, everything that she feels is written on her face or through her actions, or he tries to predict how she feels. And they grow a bond like that as well. They grow a bond through video games and him just trying to understand her. They come from totally different families. His family is pretty laid back. It's just him and his mom, and she's really funny. She just wants him to get good grades and just be good at something. Her family is very strict. She has a tutor who doesn't allow her to play video games or do anything fun, basically. Anti-fun life. So when she goes out, she sneaks out to play video games and, hang out. It's very exciting for her because she doesn't get to enjoy these things at home. And she sees him as fun, as an escape, and also as a rival. Even though she beats him all the time, he always comes very close to beating her. And they just go head to head in all kinds of games. And the last time that they played games together was at a tournament. It was a Street Fighter tournament. He got her down to basically 1 HP, just one little sliver of health. And they were both down to a slither of health. And it was just an epic way to end their rivalry. She has feelings for him, but there's a big V8 out there. She has feelings for him, and she doesn't say anything because obviously she doesn't talk, but she tries to show it in many ways. She's closer to him than any other person, or any other person in the story, and especially any other guy. Most guys she ignores, but him, they hang out together, they play video games together, they do whatever together, they eat together. But this guy is just too oblivious, he can't tell, but he starts to realize, I have feelings. So we learn right at the end of the story that her parents want her to go to America, to LA specifically, for more learning. And main character doesn't know this, so he decides, I'm gonna tell her how I feel after beating her in this video game tournament. And he gives it everything he's got, and he almost beats her, but she's just really good. And he's really bummed out. He doesn't get to tell her how he feels because that was the promise that he made to himself. So he's sulking at home. He's not playing video games. All his friends are like, you're not playing any video games. It's not like you. And then everybody's like, she's leaving, right? You should see her off. And he's like, I'm not going to see her off. I don't care. It's over. And everybody's like calling him stupid. Like, what are you doing? This is your chance to say something. She's going to be gone. You don't know how long she's going to be gone for. She might not come back. And there's another girl in the story who likes him a lot. And she really wants to see the best for him and see him happy. She sees him sad and she's like, yo, what's wrong? I bet it's homegirl. And he's like, yeah, she's leaving. And, I blew it, I guess. And she's like, it's not over yet. Like, she's not gone. You need to tell her how you feel. Like, she's like so kind and so sweet. She knew that I liked you as well. She didn't want to get in my way. She still felt the same way about you. And we played, Street Fighter together. If I were to win, I was going to tell you how I felt. And if she were to win, I would back off. And she won, but she was hesitating because she knew she was leaving. So it's just convoluted feelings. Not quite a love triangle, but kind of getting to that point. But anyway, she plays support. She's like, you need to tell her how you feel. I missed a small detail. Earlier in the story, a main character gives her a ring. It's like, I want it from, a claw machine, a crane machine. I thought it'd be cute to give to you. And she gave it back to him. And he's like, yeah, it's over. She gave it back to me. The other girl is like, you actually misinterpret that. she gave you that ring back because she wants you to give it back to her again, which I didn't understand, but I rolled with it while reading it. Like, why would you give me something back to give to you again? I don't know. But it was a cute gesture. So homeboy wakes up, he's like, oh man, I really need to see her. I really need to tell her how I feel anyway. Even though I lost, it doesn't matter. Gets on his scooter, riding as fast as he can. Super dramatic. He's running stoplights and running stop signs. I don't recommend doing that. And like all his favorite video game characters are in the background cheering him on. This guy's delusional. He's losing it, but he's like super focused on getting to a destination. And when he gets there, the girl's older sister, which talks, and she's hilarious. She's like, "Oh, dude, you're too late. You know, you should have came here ages ago. But you're in luck. The airplane is turning back around to get something." So the airplane turns around and stops. The main character, you know, there's no pride, there's no fear. He just runs, hugs her, gives her the ring back, and he's just crying. He's telling all his feelings, just raw, unfiltered, just letting it spew out. And she's crying too. And it was very, very sweet. Another really good ending. The last manga that I read, Mason Ikoku, had an amazing ending as well. It was a happy ending. This ending was bittersweet, and it just left you yearning for more. Like, will they get back together? Is she coming back to Japan? Is he gonna leave Japan to be with her? Who knows? But it was super sweet. He finally got his feelings out. She finally got to hear how he felt. And that was that. It was 10 volumes, very well written, excellent. Highly recommend. If you're into video games, if you're into romance, if you're into cozy, cute, kind of funny vibes, this is your go-to. High Score Girl is underrated. You should buy it. You should read it to make it less underrated. Thank you so much for hearing me out. If you haven't already and you feel like it, please subscribe. We're trying to hit 500. That would be sick. That's it. That's the end of the video. Peace.